Hello, my friends. Welcome to this English learning podcast. My name is David, and I am very happy that you are here with me today. In this podcast, we will not only learn English, but also talk about life, about our mind, and about how we can think in a better way. I will speak slowly and clearly so you can understand everything. And I want you to relax and enjoy as we spend this time together. Today, we are going to talk about something very interesting and also very important for our life. We are going to talk about the brain. The brain is the most powerful part of our body. It is like a control center. It controls how we feel, how we think, and how we act. Many people think that the brain cannot change, that we are born with a fixed brain. But this is not true. Science shows us that our brain can change. It can grow, it can learn, and it can become stronger, just like muscles in the body. So, today, we will learn about how to rewire the brain. The word rewire means to make new connections, to change the way something is connected. Imagine you have an old house with old wires for electricity. Sometimes the wires are broken or weak. If you rewire the house, you put in new wires, strong wires, so that electricity can flow better. The same can happen with your brain. We can rewire our brain to think better thoughts, to feel better feelings, and to live a better life. Now, maybe you are asking, how can I rewire my brain? That is a good question, my friend. Rewiring the brain happens slowly, step by step, through the things we do every day. The brain learns from experience. So if we practice good habits, positive thinking, and new skills, the brain makes new connections inside. These connections become stronger when we repeat them many times. Let me give you an example. Imagine you want to learn English. At first it feels difficult. You don't understand many words. You forget grammar. And you feel nervous when speaking. But when you practice every day, when you listen, when you speak, when you read, your brain starts to make new connections. After some time, English becomes easier for you, and you can speak with more confidence. This is rewiring the brain in action. Another example is with emotions. Maybe you often feel negative, or you often think bad thoughts about yourself. Like, I am not good enough, or I cannot do this. These thoughts are like old wires in the brain. But when you practice new thoughts, like I am learning, I am growing, I can try again, your brain starts to change. New connections are made. And slowly the old negative wires become weaker. I want you to imagine a path in the forest. If you walk on the same path every day, the path becomes clear and easy to walk. But if you stop using the path, grass and plants will grow, and the path will disappear. The same is true for the brain. If you keep thinking the same thoughts, those thoughts become strong and easy. If you stop thinking those thoughts, they become weak. This is how rewiring works. Now, my friends, I want to share some simple ways you can start rewiring your brain in your daily life. These are not difficult things. They are small steps, but if you repeat them every day, they can bring big changes. The first way is gratitude. Gratitude means to feel thankful for the good things in life. Every day, before you sleep or after you wake up, think of 3 things you are thankful for. Maybe you are thankful for your family, for your health, or even for a beautiful morning. When you do this, your brain starts to focus more on positive things instead of negative things. The second way is learning. When you learn something new, your brain grows. It does not matter if you are young or old. The brain can always learn. Maybe you can learn a new language, like English. Maybe you can learn to play music or to cook a new dish. Every time you learn, your brain makes new connections, and it becomes stronger. The third way is practice mindfulness. Mindfulness means to be in the present moment. Many times, our brain is full of thoughts about the past or the future. We think about mistakes we made, or we worry about what will happen tomorrow. But mindfulness teaches us to focus on now. You can practice mindfulness by sitting quietly, breathing slowly, and just noticing your breath. This helps the brain to become calm and clear. The fourth way is to surround yourself with positive people. The people around you affect the way you think and feel. If you spend time with people who are always negative, always complaining, then your brain will also become negative. But if you spend time with people who are kind, who are positive, and who support you, then your brain will also become positive. The fifth way is practice kindness. When you do something kind for another person, your brain releases happy chemicals. It makes you feel good, and it also makes the other person feel good. Small acts of kindness, like smiling, helping, or saying kind words, can rewire your brain to feel happier. My friends, these are some simple ways you can start changing your brain today. Remember, rewiring the brain takes time. It does not happen in one day or 1 week. But if you practice every day, little by little, your brain will change, and your life will also change. When we think about the brain, we need to understand one very big truth. The brain is not fixed. It is not like a machine that was built once and cannot change. It is more like a living garden. Every thought we think, every feeling we feel, and every action we do is like planting a seed in that garden. Some seeds are good. They grow into strong, healthy trees, like confidence, focus, or new skills. Some seeds are not good. They grow into weeds like fear, self-doubt, or laziness. The good news is that we are the gardeners. We can choose what seeds we plant and what seeds we water. Scientists call this power of the brain neuroplasticity. Do not worry if the word is long. It simply means the brain can change and build new connections all the time. This happens every day of our life. Even right now, as you listen to me, your brain is making new connections. This is both exciting and a little scary, because it means the brain is always changing, whether we guide it or not. So the question is, are you in control of the change? Or are you just letting it happen without care? If you do not guide your brain, it will still change, but maybe in the wrong way. It is like a garden. If you don't take care of it, weeds will grow on their own. But if you take care of it, you can grow beautiful flowers and strong trees. That is why it is so important to pay attention to what we think, what we do, and where we focus our energy. Now let us talk about something important. Many people think they must feel motivated before they can start doing something. For example, they say, I will start learning English when I feel ready, nor I will exercise when I feel inspired. But the truth is, waiting for motivation is a trap. Motivation does not come first. Action comes first, and then motivation follows. Imagine you want to light a fire to keep warm. If you sit and wait for the fire to start by itself, you will stay cold forever. You need to strike the match first, and then the warmth comes. The same is true for your brain. If you start the action, even if you do not feel ready, your brain will notice and say, oh, this is important. Let me build new connections to support this. So if you want to learn English, do not wait for a perfect day or for inspiration. Just begin. Read a page, listen to a podcast, repeat a sentence. Small actions signal to your brain, this matters. Then your brain helps you, and it becomes easier next time. Another thing that shapes your brain is habits. Habits are the things we do again and again until they become automatic. Brushing your teeth is a habit. Checking your phone is a habit. Thinking negative thoughts can also become a habit. The brain builds habits because it wants to save energy. When you repeat something many times, the brain builds a strong connection, so it becomes easy. That is why habits feel natural after some time. There is a saying in science, neurons that fire together, wire together. It means every time you repeat something, the brain makes the connection stronger. It is like putting down train tracks. Every time you repeat the action, the tracks become clearer. Soon, the train just follows the same track automatically. That is how habits are formed. This is good news, because it means we can build habits that help us. Even if we start small, with just 5 minutes a day, those 5 minutes can build a new track in the brain. Over time, that small action grows into a strong habit, and that habit becomes part of who we are. So if you want to be a fluent English speaker, you don't need to study 10 hours a day. Just repeat a small practice every day. Read one page. Speak one sentence. Listen to one short podcast. Every small step is building new train tracks in your brain. One day, you will notice that English feels more natural because your brain has wired it into your identity. Now, let us think about focus. Focus is like a spotlight. Whatever you shine the light on, that is what grows. If you focus on learning, growing, and positive things, your brain will build strong pathways to support them. But if your attention is always jumping from one thing to another, like scrolling on your phone all the time, then your brain will wire for shallow thinking and weak attention. This is why focus is so powerful. When you give deep attention to something, you are telling your brain, this is important. Please build more connections here. So if you really want to rewire your brain, you cannot just consume information quickly. You need to stop, reflect, and go deeper. Ask yourself, what did I learn? How can I use it? Because where your focus goes, your brain grows. Now I want to talk about emotions. Emotions are very powerful because they stick to our memory. When we feel something strong, the brain remembers it. But emotions can also trap us. If we keep repeating the same emotions, like anger, sadness, or guilt, those emotions become habits too. At first it is just a reaction, but if it stays longer, it becomes a mood. If it continues for months, it becomes part of our personality. That is why some people are always negative, always angry, or always anxious. Their brain has built strong connections for those emotions. But here is the good news. We can break this pattern. We can interrupt the loop. When a negative emotion comes, do not let it stay too long. Take a pause, breathe, and redirect your mind. Your brain will learn from this too. Remember, emotions train your brain just like actions do. So if you let anger stay for hours, your brain will wire anger more strongly. But if you stop and calm yourself, your brain learns a new way. That is how you take back control. Stress is another thing that affects the brain. Many people think stress is always bad, but that is not true. Short stress, like giving a speech, taking a cold shower, or doing a workout, can actually help your brain grow. It tells your brain, this is important, please adapt. It is like exercise for your nervous system. But too much stress without rest is dangerous. If you are always busy, always worrying, always working, your brain and body will burn out. Stress is like fire. In the fireplace, it keeps you warm. But if it spreads, it can burn the house down. So use stress wisely. Take challenges, but also give yourself time to rest and recover. One of the best ways to recover and help your brain is sleep. Sleep is not a luxury. It is not a waste of time. It is necessary. During sleep, your brain works like a cleaning crew. It removes the waste, it strengthens the connections you built during the day, and it clears the space for new learning. Without good sleep, nothing you learn can stay strong. So if you really want to rewire your brain, honor your sleep. Do not cut it short. Do not think sleep is laziness. Sleep is when the brain builds and grows. If you want to learn English faster, improve your memory, or feel happier, sleep is one of your best tools. My friends, now that we have talked about habits, focus, emotions, stress, and sleep, I want to remind you of something important. Changing the brain does not happen in one day. It happens slowly, like building a house, brick by brick. Every small action you do, every positive thought you repeat, every healthy choice you make is like placing another brick. With time, the house becomes strong. Think about how a river shapes the rocks. One drop of water does not change the rock. But when the water flows every day, year after year, the rock changes shape. That is how your brain changes too. Small actions, repeated many times, create big changes. So do not feel discouraged if progress feels slow. Slow progress is still progress. Now let's talk about learning in a deeper way. Learning is not only about remembering information. It is about changing the brain. When you learn English words, when you practice speaking, or when you listen to a podcast like this, your brain is building new pathways. But if you never use what you learn, those pathways become weak. That is why practice is so important. Practice is like exercising a muscle. If you don't use the muscle, it becomes weak. If you train it every day, it becomes strong. This is why I encourage you not only to listen to me, but also to repeat after me. Try saying some of the sentences I say. Try using the new words you hear in your own life. If you hear the word garden, maybe you can say, "My brain is like a garden." If you hear the word habit, you can say, "I want to build good habits." Every time you use a word, you make the connection stronger in your brain. Another way to rewire your brain is reflection. Reflection means thinking carefully about what you did, what you felt, and what you learned. At the end of the day, take a few minutes to ask yourself, what did I learn today? What made me happy? What can I do better tomorrow? These questions help your brain organize information and prepare for growth. Reflection is like checking the map when you are on a journey. It helps you know where you are and where you are going. Let us also talk about the people around you. People have a big influence on your brain. If you spend time with people who are negative, complaining, or always talking about problems, your brain will start to think in the same way. But if you spend time with people who are positive, supportive, and full of hope, your brain will copy that energy too. Human brains are like mirrors. We reflect what we see. That is why choosing the right company is very important for your growth. In the same way, the content you watch or listen to also affects your brain. If you always watch negative news, violent movies, or angry arguments, your brain will be full of those emotions. But if you listen to positive podcasts, motivational stories, or educational videos, your brain will fill with good seeds. Remember, what you feed your mind is as important as what you feed your body. Now, I want you to think about identity. Identity means how you see yourself. Many people say, "I am not good at English," or "I am always lazy," or I cannot change. When you repeat these words, your brain accepts them and builds them into your identity. But you can also choose different words. You can say, "I am learning English," "I am improving," "I am becoming stronger." These words tell your brain a new story, and your brain starts to act according to that story. So, when you think about your goals, do not only think about what you want to do. Think about who you want to become. If you want to learn English, do not just say, "I want to learn English." Say, "I am an English learner." If you want to be healthy, do not just say, "I want to exercise." Say, "I am a healthy person." Identity is powerful because the brain always tries to stay true to who you believe you are. Another important tool for rewiring the brain is writing. When you write your thoughts, dreams, and goals, you make them stronger. Writing helps you see your thoughts clearly, and it also helps your brain remember them better. You can start a simple journal. Every morning, write 3 things you want to focus on. Every evening, write 3 things you are thankful for. This small habit trains your brain to be clear, positive, and focused. Let us not forget kindness and love. When you show kindness to others, when you smile, help, or speak gently, your brain releases chemicals that make you happy. These chemicals also build strong connections of peace and joy. Kindness is not only good for others, it is also medicine for your own brain. That is why even small acts of kindness are powerful tools for change. And of course, one of the greatest ways to rewire your brain is patience. Patience means to keep going, even when results are slow. Many people give up too early. They plant the seeds, but do not wait for the flowers to grow. But growth takes time. Your brain needs time to build new pathways. If you are patient, you will see the results. My dear friends, remember this. You are not stuck. You are not broken. You are not too old to change. The brain is always ready to grow. It does not matter where you are now. What matters is what you choose to do today. Every step, even a small one, is a signal to your brain that says, let's build something new. So, as you finish listening to me today, I want you to take one action. Do not wait for tomorrow. Do not wait for motivation. Choose one small action that will help you grow. Maybe you will write 3 things you are thankful for. Maybe you will read 1 page in English. Maybe you will smile at someone. Maybe you will go to bed early to honor your sleep. Choose one action and do it today. That action will start a new path in your brain. And when you repeat that action tomorrow, the path will grow stronger, and then stronger the next day. One day, you will look back and realize how much you have changed, not only in your habits, but in your mind, your feelings, and your life. You are the gardener of your brain. You are the architect of your mind. You are the author of your story. You can rewire your brain. You can learn. You can grow. You can become the best version of yourself. And step by step, word by word, habit by habit, your brain will follow you. Thank you for being here with me today. I am so happy to share this time with you. Keep learning, keep practicing, and keep planting good seeds in your mind. I believe in you, and I know you can do it.